Hey everyone, welcome to Daigaku. Now, one of my favourite themes in media is the post-apocalypse. I love seeing the imagination of different creators, and it lends itself to so many genres ranging from sci-fi and fantasy to comedy, drama and slice of life. Anime is a great medium for showcasing this, and as such there's such a variety of series to get lost in. Now for this video I've only selected 5 anime, but there are so many more and that may go into future videos. The anime in this list demonstrates the very different ideas of post-apocalyptic society from that of the classic barren wasteland shown in Mad Max or Fist of the North Star, and all are anime worth your time and attention. If you haven't seen them already, give them a go, you won't be disappointed. Let's begin. Hayao Miyazaki is a master storyteller, and many of his anime have been the pinnacles of true escapism. Arguably his greatest work is 1984's Kaze no Tani no Nausicaa, or Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind. This was only his second major animated feature, and it helped launch his Studio Ghibli franchise, although this was actually a top-craft production. It was based on Miyazaki's own manga, published 2 years prior, and takes place on Earth 1,000 years after an apocalyptic event known as the 7 Days of Fire. Earth has now developed vast swathes of toxic jungles and greenery alongside huge poisonous beasts, and the story follows a 16-year-old girl, Nausicaa, who has the ability to communicate with these creatures, and she seeks a way of humanity coexisting with nature and not to repeat the mistakes of the past that led to their annihilation. The story is deep, with politics, action, and of course a strong environmental message, which alongside a female protagonist was a common feature of Miyazaki's early films. The style is almost steampunk-esque, and there's a clear inspiration from Dune and Earthsea, which would eventually become its own Ghibli anime in 2006. It's a fantasy-driven post-apocalyptic world which is lush, huge and absorbing. Jinrui wa Suitai Shimasu, or Humanity's Decline, is a post-apocalyptic anime straight from left field. Humankind has all but died out from simply reducing birth rates, and the last remaining few are coexisting with another intelligent species known as fairies, who are these 10cm tall, candy-loving beings. This is as crazy as it sounds. The animation of this show is beautiful, with a deliberate super punch colour scheme. Based on a series of light novels, this is a light-hearted fantasy comedy with a vibrant, disused world and a greater depth of story than first seen on the surface, with the crazy and unfathomable behaviour of the fairies being an allegory of human decisions, leading to the dire situation they find themselves in. This is a really enjoyable series with a first-class performance from Mai Nakahara as the lead character Watashi, and a very different take on the post-apocalyptic setting. Any anime that has a Radiohead track as its ending theme should give you an idea as to the stylistic themes and mood of the show the creators are going for. Ergo Proxy is a 2006 original anime with a complicated and sometimes confusing story. Set far in the future after a major ecological disaster has rendered the Earth unlivable, humans live behind these gated, domed cities, but unlike other stories with a similar premise, they remain advanced as a civilization. Featuring a Blade Runner-esque-like mystery, the story follows Rei Imea as she investigates the emergence of sentience in the Autoreeves, which are human-like androids serving mankind. She soon teams up with an Autoreeve mechanic called Vincent Law, and together they search for the reasons behind this development. This is a deep, philosophical show exploring existentialism and ethics. Whilst it requires some thought and attention and the occasional dive into forums discussing each episode, this series can really provide a rich experience. The world in this future is bleak and stark and fascinating at the same time, and remains just as immersive as some of the other series in this video. The animation studio behind this, Manglobe, is now defunct, and the voice actress of Maya, Rei Sato, only did a handful of roles, cementing this series as a cult classic. Watching the world go by is quite literally what Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko is all about. This OVA series is a snapshot of the award-winning slice-of-life manga series, which published between 1994 and 2006. Ideally, this would have received its own fully fleshed out anime adaptation, but as it is, the OVAs give a good idea of what the manga is all about. Set sometime in the distant future, mankind is in the twilight of its years, and the story follows the day-to-day life of an android, Alpha, who runs a coffee shop, and her interactions with the few customers she has and the surroundings. It's not immediately clear what has happened in the past, but it is thought to be a combination of climate change and an environmental cataclysm, as we see much of the world is underwater. The series focuses on the little things like brewing coffee, fixing a broken machine, and taking photos, and it is the anime and manga equivalent of mindfulness. Alpha travels the local countryside on her scooter, investigating the remains of humanity's previous age, and it is a soothing and peaceful experience, and an example of where mankind has come to accept its fate rather than fight against it. The scenery in the series is beautiful and is consistent with the nostalgia theme of the story. Finally, we have Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko, or Girls Last Tour. This is a rather melancholic series and follows the journey of two young girls, Yuri and Chito, as they travel upwards through the different levels of an abandoned city, aiming to reach the top in the hope that there will be something there worth the journey. Almost all life on the planet has gone after war and conflict, and the remains of weapons and military equipment litter their surroundings. The two girls get through day by scavenging for food and parts and speculating about humanity's past, and the sense of solitude and isolation that is conveyed through the series is broken up by the pragmatic attitude of Chito and the comic relief of Yuri. The soundtrack of this series is superb and builds the atmosphere of loneliness and futility in gradual layers so that you're drawn into the desolate world the characters are in. The anime finishes just short of the manga conclusion, but you at least have the opportunity to finish the story. This is a series that will leave a lasting impression for a long time to come. The ending can be interpreted in different ways. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. That's a wrap. Thanks again for sticking to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe even found your next anime to watch. These are all very different, ranging from classics to hidden gems, but I'm sure you will enjoy whatever you choose to watch next. See you in the next video.